Anime Addicts, it's time for the AAA podcast's Summer Waifu War to begin. Over 2,000 nominations from your elite anime addict minds allowed us to create the most competitive 64 waifu tournament bracket ever assembled. So strap on your weaponry because it's time to throw your grenades into the mix for your favorite waifu. Simply search for waifuwar.life, because waifu are lifu, to vote for your favorite waifu, and be sure to check back weekly as voting will continue round by round until the end of July, where the overall goddess of all waifu will be crowned. Again, vote at waifuwar.life. We'll see you there. Let the war begin.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Oh, welcome into episode 637 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where our sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse.
Works.
And you can help make your friend's anime addiction worse. Tell a friend about the podcast. Spread the word. Write a review on iTunes, and spread the gospel of the anime addiction, and that'll help out the podcast a lot. And also, if you want to watch live, you can do so on twitch.tv/AAA podcast, live Sundays at 5 p.m. We are also across all social media, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Discord. If you go to the website, AAApodcast.com, you can get to the Discord invite at the top. I am your host, Mitsugi, and I am joined by a sweaty man, but he's still beautiful. His name's Mason.
Very sweaty today. As with all weeks this summer, I'm just toasting. I'm just burning alive out here. I just have that sweat on the back of my hamstring where it's there and I just can't get it away. And I hope if you're listening to this, you are not suffering like I am, and you are in a nice, cool area thinking cool thoughts because you're a coolest boy around, or a coolest girl, if you will. But I'm out here dying. So hello. Glad to have you listening.
Back of the knee sweat. Very
Back
nice.
of the knee sweat, my dude.
Rolling down your ass. Yeah. Swass.
Fighting for my life out here.
You got swass right now.
I got swass.
It's
out the wazoo.
We're going to find some gators in there before long. All right, guys. Well, it is still the Waifu Wars. So the most successful event in the history of the podcast rolls on. And we are in the final four. It's down to Marin Kitagawa of Dress Up Darling, Asuna Yuki, I think her last name is, of Sword Art Online, Your Forger of Spy Family, and Mai Sakurajima of Bunny Girl Senpai. Currently, the final four will go until Thursday, where I will post the final before I slip off to Iceland to go get married. So if you want to vote, you can do it at waifuwar.life, because, Mason?
That's because waifu are lifu.
That's right. Thank you.
I was muted because I was dying out here. I was like, I got to scramble for the unmute button.
He didn't want you to hear about him die. Hear his death wail. Okay.
If I turn too quickly, you'll just hear the squelch of my body just like moving. It's awful. It's awful out here.
Get over to waifuwar.life and vote. Don't quit now. We're almost at the end of the tournament, so it's down to pretty much 2 people that will win the prize money for the podcast. So, we're gonna see how that pans out. But again,
where are you at in the rankings, Mitz?
Very poorly. I'm ranked very poorly, and I know you're asking because you're like ranked 7.
Yes.
And you're feeling very good about it.
We'll take single digits.
Yeah. Well,
though of course it all comes down to the end anyway. So if I miss one of these, I'll just be plummeted to the abyss of normalcy.
So you're in 7th. You're doing quite well.
But I have no chance.
You can't win at this point.
No.
But you're doing quite well. Caroline is in 38th, so that's also not too bad. Caroline picked Ai Hayasaka, who I caught somebody massively cheating for last week, so kind of makes me wonder if Ai Hayasaka maybe shouldn't have made it as far as she did. I'm not really sure. Pancake, she's in 49th, so that's not too bad. Mitsugi, I'm not even on the first page here.
Oh, no.
So let's go to the second. I'm in 103rd, so I am getting destroyed. But you know what? It's all about the fun, so.
Which is just proof that you can get all the numbers in the world. No one was more numerically equipped to guess this right than you.
Probably.
And yet it proves that just you can't count anyone out or in. It's all about passion and emotion and waifus.
I'm more of a logic boy. I think you have a lot more math background, but but hey, getting onto the podcast, guys. What are we doing today?
Sorry.
So you think that you can anime? We're going to be doing a topic here. We're going to talk about some anime that we that represent the creation of anime very well, and also whether or not we would be able to perform these roles, these various like job functions that people have in an anime studio. And I can tell you right now, I don't think I could do very many of them. So, because I mean, I'm not. Yeah, we'll get to it later, but. And of course, we also have a giant pile of impressions to do from the summer 2022 season. Again, I won't be here for the next 2 weeks, so because I am getting married in Iceland. So I've got to get all my impressions done today. So I'm doing Lycoris Recoil, Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, Uncle from Another World, and Black Summoner. Yes, 3 isekais. And Mason will be doing Yurei Deco and Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. So there you go.
We will see how those go.
Pretty good stuff. And I will say that my anime are like all watchable, but they're all very mid. So we'll have to see like which one gets picked.
Ooh, Mitsugi going with the modern dialect. You love to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
I do.
Well, I am marrying a girl 11 years younger than I am, so I have to keep up with the cool kids. You know what I'm saying? So
indeed.
Although I am old as shit. So, all right, time for the big news of the week.
Oh, 大ニュースです. It's time for big news of the week.
All right, here I do have some audio for this. I think the Dragon Ball Super movie trailer 2 came out, and it looks fucking awesome. So, Dragon Ball Super opened in Japan. It's called Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Superhero. It opened in Japan on June 11th, and the film has earned $16 million as of the middle of last week. Crunchyroll and Sony Pictures are going to screen this film in theaters worldwide starting August 18th, and it'll be available in the USA and Canada on August 19th, both in English sub and dub. I'm going to be there opening night for sure. I'm going to be there at my dinner theater. I'm going to get some drinks, some burgers. It's going to be fucking phenomenal. And the original creator, Akira Toriyama, worked on the film's story, screenplay, and character designs. Ooh, some screaming.
I wasn't expecting that. They're so hyped.
Sounds like
they love Akira.
Sounds like Gohan. Yeah, Akira Toriyama is very involved in this movie, so that's good news. The Red Ribbon Army was once destroyed by Son Goku. Individuals who carry on its spirit have created the ultimate androids, Gamma 1 and 2. These 2 androids call themselves superheroes, and they start attacking Piccolo and Gohan. What is the new Red Ribbon Army's objective in the face of approaching danger? It is time to awaken. Superhero! And it's definitely going to be a Piccolo and Gohan heavy movie. So the trailer looks awesome. It's got a ton of CG in it though. But then again, the other movies did as well, and I didn't think it ruined the movie or anything. I thought I caught Broly in the trailer. So I don't know if you watch that trailer, you might see Broly in there. I don't know if he's
How
really.
How could you possibly miss Broly in the trailer? He's like the biggest dude around.
He's just because he's only in there for like 2 seconds, and it's just
okay,
like
maybe
it's just a guy screaming, powering up who looks like Broly, but I'm not sure if it is Broly.
That's fair.
And But I'm told that this is going to be like mostly Gohan, but Gohan's like redemption, because like Gohan's kind of been like a lame duck since the Buu saga.
Dude fights with a helmet. Of course, he's a lame duck.
He's so lame. He's got antennas on his helmet. What a nerd.
Got a cape? Yeah,
He's a
you're asking
fucking
for
nerd.
trouble with a cape.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's just like studying books.
Nerd alert!
He's just not very cool. Piccolo's cool though. Piccolo is going to be in this movie a lot too, so it's going to be, God, Piccolo and Gohan had some of the best Dragon Ball moments. Period. There's a lot of like touching Piccolo Gohan shit in Dragon Ball Z. So looking forward to this. It's going to be fucking awesome. The last 2 Dragon Ball movies have been pretty good. I thought the Frieza movie was good, and I thought the Broly movie was pretty good. So, and hopefully this is like the precursor to more Dragon Ball Super, like the TV series, because I really would love to watch more. Oh yeah, and I've got like images here. I had all these images for the Twitch, and I'm going to use them today, by God. So if I can figure out how the fuck to do this. So nope, that's not right. There it is. There's the promo trailer. I got all sorts of shit today. Pretty excited. Mason, do you have any shot you'll go see this?
Definitely not in theaters. I'm not against Dragon Ball, but it's just, it's not my thing. That's your thing. And
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and I'm hyped for you, and I wish it the best of luck. I watched the Broly movie, I think. That was the last one I saw. But I haven't watched any of Super, so I like Piccolo, and I hope it's good. That's all I have to offer.
It will be.
Are you gonna dress up for the showing?
Fuck no. I go to the movie theater in pajamas, my man.
You're gonna paint your hair green to match Piccolo?
I have no hair. Oh,
well, that's why it's perfect for Piccolo.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could probably cosplay Piccolo, but
yeah.
Yeah. I'm not tall enough though. Piccolo's like 6'9", or he's like 7'2".
Is he really that tall?
Yeah,
How big is Broly then?
Piccolo is 7'5".
Jeez.
7'5".
Okay, and it says beast. Gohan is 5'9".
God,
if that is not, there's no way they're gonna be. I bet in the movie they're gonna be shown at like about the same height. Actually, no. What am I talking about? I don't know anything. Never mind.
Goku's
they'll look like
5'9".
a child next.
Goku's like
they'll look like children next to Piccolo.
Yeah, they're like children. Piccolo's probably got a here's a picture of like them all in like a lineup, and Broly looks huge. He looks gigantic.
10 feet. Yeah, of course. He's a bowling ball of a man.
Yeah, he looks huge, but yeah, Piccolo though, he's pretty cool.
He is.
I know the tickets are going to be a fortune because they jack up these ticket prices like mad. Like even on $5 movie night, the tickets are probably going to be $17. I bet, but I'll still pay it. Next up, real quick, a very delicious item was created at Katsuya, one of my favorite restaurants, one of my favorite chains to go to in Japan. And as I said, I'm gonna keep up with these images. So I just want to know if you would eat this. Actually, I want to know how many of these you would eat because it's a given that you're gonna eat this.
Of course.
So there's a restaurant in Japan called Katsuya. So Japan has fantastic chain restaurants. You might think, oh, I don't want to eat at the chain restaurant. You should. They're cheap. They're great. There's like Skia for your beef bowls. There's Koko Ichiban for your curry. And if you want to get some good, I don't know if it's good, but if you want to get some katsu, you go to Katsuya. And there is a Katsuya breakfast item now that I know Mason will eat. But I got the picture up on the Twitch.
Who wouldn't eat this?
I don't know. You'd be out your fucking mind to not eat this. It's just fantastic. So it's got a pork cutlet with the katsu sauce in the bowl, a large bed of what I imagine is rice and then shredded cabbage. Because
as you do.
Yeah, as you do. 4 slices of like Japanese style bacon, which is kind of like somewhere between a Canadian bacon and American bacon.
Yeah, it doesn't look like crispy. It still looks wavy and, American bacon-y, but it looks a little more, as you might say, flaccid in its...
flaccid, like a pee-pee. I'm drinking again, by the way, so...
We love to see it. I mean, this is katsudon with bacon, egg, and like, I I guess that's not cheese. Bacon eggs, of course. Why not?
It's an over medium egg on top of the bacon with like katsu sauce. So you're basically eating an over medium egg with bacon on top of rice, shredded cabbage with a fried pork cutlet. It looks fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now for the price. Can I find the price on here? The price, $6.90, which used to be $7. But because Japan is the cheapest place on earth right now to visit, it is now only $5 fucking. It's fantastic. You must go to Japan right now. You must. It is, as of like a week ago, it was cheaper to go to Japan now than any point since 1998. So you must go.
Yeah.
Plan your vacations. It's a fucking discount. Everything's on a 40% off. Fantastic. Oh, it looks so good. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, why are we doing this so early in
Because I'm drunk already.
the episode?
I don't know. Because whatever. Because you love food and I love food, and that's the only reason.
It's true. That's true.
Eating food is the only reason to be alive. I don't know. That's pretty much
Live to eat, eat to live, my guy. That's my motto.
Yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game right there. Oh man, I've been enjoying some Red Robin burgers lately. They're pretty yummy.
Did I ever tell you my battle with the Red Robin endless sides?
No. Sounds great though.
So you get endless sides at Red Robin.
Do you?
Like, it's an option. Like, you can order, like, with the meal, you can get, like, French fries.
Yeah.
But if you pay, like, an extra, I don't know, I'm making numbers up, $3, you can get unlimited refills of that side. Okay? Pretty good deal, right? Especially if you can put it away. And that's for any side you get. So one time I went there, and I was like, I gotta be a little bit healthy. I can't just be eating burgers and milkshakes all day. I'll get the broccoli as a side, and I'll get unlimited refills. So I'll just get a ton of broccoli, fill up on healthiness, get my vitamins in, and be a good boy. So I would do that. And every time they brought me a refill of broccoli, it came in a progressively smaller and smaller container until they were literally bringing me one broccoli at a time.
What?
And I'm like, this is just comical.
One fucking broccoli?
Yeah, I'd be like, could I get some more? And they're like, yeah. And they'd come back and it was just one piece. I'd be like, okay, clearly they're just playing the long game and just outlasting me and just being like, oh, I'm not going to wait another 5 minutes for another one piece of broccoli. So I just
fucked up.
Gave up. But yeah.
How much you pay for that?
Rings. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'd be fucking pissed.
Well, I got some broccoli in the meantime. They had to whittle me down, but
I'm just saying, if you pay like $12 for endless sides, like they had to bring the fucking food. No, don't dick around with it.
I mean,
like,
it's what like IHOP does with unlimited pancakes. They bring you one at a time, and it takes so long to make that you just get bored waiting.
You and I went to the all-you-can-eat sushi place in Denver, right? And
yeah.
And I think we agreed it's not like it's the best sushi in the world, but
no,
I think we can also agree that they didn't fuck around though. Like they bring the goddamn food when you order it.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Wow. Well, apparently not at Red Robin. Yum.
Nah, dropping the ball.
I kind of want a burger now.
Yum. More like yawn.
I can pretty much live on cheeseburgers. I'm probably gonna die when I'm like 43 from like heart failure, but whatever. Mason, do you have any big news of the week?
No, I looked around. There wasn't much. But since you mentioned the Dragon Ball movie coming out in middle of August, I will say I am very excited because August 11th in the U.S. is coming out Inu-Oh, the new Masaki Yuasa movie, which is, as we all know, one of my favorite directors in all of anime.
He's your boy.
It's going to be a wild musical. It's based on the Heike Monogatari. Obviously we saw the TV series, and this is kind of like a side story to it. I think it will be very different stylistically and visually and conceptually, but I'm very excited to see it. So if I see any anime movie in August, it will be, or in theaters, it will be that one. So,
well, maybe we'll have some
pictures coming soon.
We'll have some movie talk.
Yeah. We've been watching so much. We have so much anime to talk about. Let's kind of talk about it in the next segment.
Well, why don't you lead it off? Because this was, I think, your idea.
Yeah, so taken off of the popular dancing television show, this is So You Think You Can Anime. Because I feel like sometimes, we on the show, we bag on anime a bit. We're up here on our high horses. Everyone complains with how snooty we are, how elitist, how it's like, oh, do you guys even like anime?
Don't be an elitist.
Exactly. People, they get a little upset, and it's fair. It's fair. But at the same time,
Yeah.
we understand that we're giving these shows a hard time sometimes. But do we think we could do any better in these roles? And I think that's the name of the game. So we assembled a bunch of different major roles in the anime production process. And on a scale from the way we review shows, 0 to 5, we will rate how well we think we would do in that role. And I think it'll make sense. But first, Mitsugi compiled a list of anime to watch that kind of gets into anime production.
That's true. So first and foremost, Golden Boy episode 6. I know I'm usually promoting Golden Boy because, of the general quotes and all the ridiculous shit that Golden Boy has to offer.
Oh yes, my queen.
We showed Golden Boy episode 1 to Pancake's father, who the other day, who is a certified wild man, and he did not fucking get it. He's like, I can't watch anime. Like, he's one of those people that's like, I don't get like their faces, their facial expressions. He just doesn't get it. And I'm like, do you get this? And there's like the Madam President's giant titties like bouncing around.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get it. Golden Boy episode 6 isn't really much of a perverted episode. Like, Golden Boy's usually kind of ecchi. He works at an animation studio in episode 6, and it covers a lot of aspects of anime. Like, there's a pretty good look of inside of a typical studio. It shows the goods and the bads of working there. There's a lot of work. There's some looks at like the dubbing. They talk about, how animation used to be made, like back in the 90s. Like, obviously it's different now. Driving around the city, delivering, like cells to be worked on by animators. It's pretty detailed. So they even do like trial viewings of like the anime in like private little theaters before releasing it. So Golden Boy episode 6, pretty solid stuff, and you get a lot in only 25-30 minutes. So that's about as good as you're gonna get for my money in such a short amount of time. Shirobako is really great, but like that's a whole series. Honestly, Shirobako is, like, I think Mason will agree, an excellent anime.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
And so you should watch it anyway, just because it's so good. But that's a whole 26 episodes of working, like, of anime creation. Animation Runner Kuromi I haven't seen in a long time, but I know that also offers its own sort of look at the creation of anime. So those are 3 really good options, and you have a couple more here.
Yeah, I just listed some side ones about not quite as in depth on the production side of things, like Shirobako or the ones that Mitz listed, but they still have some look into the medium we love so much. So one is obviously Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, 3 girls in a anime club at school, and they kind of get into some of the techniques that they use to animate things, but as well as finding funding and advertising and promoting the materials, obviously a big part of that show, as well as Girlish Number for a kind of look into the seiyuu, which is voice acting of anime and kind of the drama in between there. Obviously it's a bit more of that than about how to voice act, but it's still pretty fun. So if you haven't seen any of those shows and are into that behind the scenes working aspect of anime, these are all worth checking out, I think. So,
yeah.
Getting to the topic itself, we're going to run through, say, the role and just kind of give our 2 cents on how well we think we could do in that position. Obviously, ignoring the demands of needing to speak Japanese to properly, communicate. But assuming that that's not the problem here, how well, Mitz, do you think you would be as... Let's start with... we'll just go down the list. As being the original creator of something.
Shit, I'm still looking at this katsu breakfast. Have you ever? I'm sure you have. Have you ever had tonjiru, the soup?
Yeah.
You either get miso soup or tonjiru at these places. Do you prefer the miso soup or the tonjiru?
I prefer miso. I'm not a big soup person. I like
Got it.
chewing food. I like viscosity. I don't like... Both of them are very, like, liquidy soups.
Well, the tonjiru's got more stuff in it. Like, it's got more chewy stuff in it. That's the one
It
that has the
does.
little, has like the jelly cubes in it and like the vegetables,
Yeah.
carrots and shit. Anyway,
I
sorry.
just haven't had it as much.
Are we rating our ability to do these roles out of what, 5?
Out of 5.
Okay, original creator. You know, I feel like I'm gonna end up bagging on anime a little bit in this segment as well, but I'm gonna say I'm saying I'm in the 4 range out of 5 because it seems like anime just doesn't sometimes have a lot of thought put into the. Now, I guess we should say, what in your definition is the original creator doing? Are we talking everything from the artwork to the concept to the story, or are we just talking about coming up with the concept and like writing the story?
So I almost skipped this one because it is such a nebulous thing, because it could be the mangaka. You made the comic. You wrote the novel. You came up with the idea. So it's more of, in my way, I'm picturing it as this is an original anime that you have like formulated the idea and general plot of it and are pitching it to studios. So not how well you would be at being a mangaka, how well you would do it as being a novelist, how well do you think you could come up with a core idea that would fit into a anime medium presentation?
I'm gonna say a 4. You know, all of this podcast,
You got some ideas.
all of this podcasting has me pretty comfortable speaking in front of virtually any audience of any size. I've done that at cons. I've done it at work. So as far as presenting the idea to a studio, no problem. And anime just doesn't really have a lot of detailed, tough stories a lot of time. Like almost no anime delivers the sort of punch you'd get with like a Monster or a Legend of the Galactic Heroes. You know, almost anybody can write the story of like Black Summoner, which I'm going to do a synopsis, which I'm going to do an impression of here in like an hour. So I'm pretty confident that if I'm going to sit down at a table and write an anime story, I can fucking do it. And it would be as good as Harem and Harem and the Labyrinth of whatever, or I can fucking do it. There's no doubt about it.
There we go. And we've proven that we have, obviously it's not proving at all, but we do our anime Shark Tank episodes.
We're due for that,
where
by
we
the
get
way.
tons of great ideas and submissions that I would be like, yeah, I would definitely rather watch this than most of what comes out conceptually. And obviously, there's a whole lot more of fleshing out characters and story beats and pacing that goes into it. But as far as just not a person dies and now they're in a fantasy world, but this time they poop jello. What will I think of next? Like, come on, anime. I think you and I, Mitch, both could come up with some good ideas. So I also had myself listed as a 4. I'm not saying I have great ideas. I'm no mastermind, but I don't know. That's just me. Not saying we'd get greenlit or anything, but I think people have good ideas all the time.
All right, what's next?
Next up, pretty big one, I would say, and that is director. Obviously, kind of overseeing the overall creation of the project and managing what scenes get in, get cut, how long they are, just everything that a director does. Mitz, how good would you be at this?
Granted, I'm gonna say I'm not really 100% abreast of everything that a director does. I'm pretty organized. I have done project management at work. I think that I could give it a try. I'm probably a 3, maybe a 3 out of 5. You know, I've seen a lot of anime. I think I understand the perspectives, and I'm about as exposed to the different types of things that you'll see in anime as anybody is going to be, you know, and as far as being able to keep everybody in line and keeping things moving along, I can probably handle that role pretty well. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure of everything that a director needs to be doing, but I think I have enough knowledge to know what it takes to have an engaging anime, and I can definitely keep people organized and you know, keep people moving through like a project flow that would get something created on time.
Yeah,
I'm not overly confident.
Okay. Yeah, I would say I'm in about the same boat as you. I think I kind of front loaded our talents with this list, but I agree. It's as much of having the artistic vision as the ability to keep the team focused and well communicated on the end goal and what it needs to look like. And though I might not be able to uh, use my sketching ability to draw out exactly how I want things, I think I would have a good eye for storyboarding and generally how I would want scenes to move in my mind, that I could then express that to more talented folks than myself to make that a reality. So I would give myself a 3.5. I'm feeling just really good today. I'm feeling positive energy and I'm manifesting that into maybe misplaced confidence, but confidence nonetheless. I think I would be an all right director.
I think, you know what, I kind of agree with that. I think that working on this podcast, I've seen enough of you to know that you're a pretty organized guy. I think you could pull it off.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
What's next?
So, next we have script writer. So, in this regard, you're not necessarily coming up with the story, but you are taking the story and trimming it down and obviously parsing it to the essentials, to the pacing, to what will be said and how it will be said, sort of thing. So, not translation, nothing like that, just taking the idea that already exists and making it into the script.
Well, kind of how I feel with the original creator. I think I could do this. Writing the script is... I'm pretty confident in my ability to do this. I think I can definitely write a script that satisfies what anime fans are looking for, at least as good as you're generally getting nowadays. There are anime that come out every season that are exceptional. They do seem to be written by someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. They have enough experience and enough talent. But then there's a lot of anime that are in the middle, and you're going to hear a lot of those later in the show, that don't require brain surgery level thinking to write these stories. You know, honestly, God, you gotta as a listener, ask yourself this in your head right now. Are you capable of writing an anime where a guy is playing a video game and trying to get enough gold to buy a sex slave? If you can come up with that plot line, then you are able to write the script for one of the most highly watched animes of the summer, because that is exactly the plot of Harem and a Labyrinth or whatever. It's not rocket science. You can fucking do it. So I'm going to give myself like a 4.5. I think I can do this, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would put myself at a 4 on this one. I don't know. I read sometimes on occasion. I've been known to dabble in the written word, so maybe I'd be okay. I don't know. I haven't written since high school, but I spend a lot of time on Discord. You know, I type out things. That'll work, right? That's all it. No,
it will work.
It's one of those things I feel like that is easier said than done. But that said, I think I could make that done thing reality. So I'm gonna give myself a 4 out of 5. I got this.
Yeah, you might as well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Now we're getting into the tough area.
We're getting out of our forte, if you will. Character designer. This is mostly, designing. You'll see the character in a bunch of different profiles, front, top, down, side, right, whatever. That gives proportion, that gives the color coding, essentially designing how a character will work. That is the template, the model that all the animators on the show will reference in their drawing. So how well do you think you could do as a character designer?
A 1 out of 5. I have no artistic talent at all. I'm a good musician, but I cannot draw a straight line, and I'm not going to be able to draw a waifu caliber, simpable, jack-offable, hot waifu girl. Fucking forget it. To save my life, it isn't happening. So, yeah, I have no chance. There's no fucking way. I mean, If you want me to design the characters of Dress Up Darling Season 2, Marin Kitagawa is going to look like a fucked up disaster.
Just look like a beluga whale.
It's
just
going to look,
really
yeah,
lumpy.
it's going to be, she's going to look like a manatee. It's going to be terrible. So forget it. It's not happening.
This is your Marin right here. This.
Yeah, exactly. That strange blue thing you're holding up with a creepy smile that I'll have nightmares about. Yeah, I can't do it.
It's a manatee.
It's a manatee, yeah.
It's a manatee. I have a manatee on this desk.
The number one animal in the world where I have no surprises whatsoever that they're endangered for a very good reason. They're too slow and too dumb to not be endangered. Wow, I am definitely woo.
We're feeling it.
Oh, if the question is, out of 5, if I drink the last 3/4 of an inch of this drink out of my cup, am I still going to be with you in this podcast?
I might have to just solo this one for
the
next hour. People would scream if they lost
struggling.
you so early. Don't worry, I got you, my dude. I got you. I will hear you kicking and screaming.
Oh, we're fucking doing this.
You're
gonna have to. You're gonna have to because my foot is so sprained. I can't really walk properly anyway. I look
gotcha.
like a zombie out of Resident Evil. I'm like, oh,
Just
I'm dragging my
around.
foot. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta listen to the Hobby Addicts to figure out why he's KO'd. Me, character designer, I would give myself a 1.5 out of 5.
Oh, no.
I think I could do colors. I think color theory, coordination. The second week in a row, Mitsuki reaches out a hand and food falls from the sky. Last week it was a Sonic burger?
This is
now he has
Pancake
Chipotle
is the
and
best
macaroons.
waifu in the world. She just shows up with a burrito and 6 macaroons for me.
You have to share those though.
Oh, here, you have the macaroons first.
No, it's later.
Oh, for later. Okay, you put him downstairs. We'll have him later. What a great waifu.
Mitsuki's face just lit up. Oh,
Listen, I'm just gonna say to people, you put a ring on it for a reason, okay?
I like
Great
to
stuff
think
happening here.
that she's downstairs, she's hanging out, and all she hears is, "I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Oh, I'm losing it. I'm losing steam." And she's like, "I gotta save this podcast," and runs out, grabs a burrito off the street, just decks someone who has it. She's like, "I need this for the greater good."
It's Chipotle. I've eaten Chipotle every Sunday, like 5 weeks in a row. She knows I'm gonna get this. Oh, it smells so good.
Love it.
Anyway, sorry, character designer.
Yeah, I think I could do the coloring pretty well. I think I have a general sense of what looks good, and the fact that it is a one-time drawing, I could maybe whip up something kind of feasible, but like no artistic talent, which lends us perfectly to the next role, which is key animator. This is the big boy animation role. This is designing the frames that wow you, that it sticks on. This is the important stuff. Not saying that other stuff isn't important, but this is the money shot of anime right here. How well could you do this, Mitz?
0. I have no chance. Are you fucking kidding? I can't draw a character. How am I gonna like animate a character? Jesus, good lord. Nobody would ever want to watch a show that I had any hand in creating the artwork for at all ever. It would be a disaster. I would be fired within a morning.
You know, I gave myself a 0.5. I think you convinced me. I'm definitely at a solid 0 as well. There's no feasible universe in the next decade unless someone's like, "Hey, you need to train exclusively for it." Maybe I could eke up to a 1 at best. But right now, I'm a solid 0.
Oh, you think you're worse than me?
I think... Yeah, I think I'm...
fucking bullshit. No. You know what? You and I need a training. We need a Naruto-style 20-episode training
montage.
Yeah. We should just skip the next one. I have no chance. In-betweeners?
Yeah.
So do people... Maybe we should explain what the fuck a key animator and an in-betweener is. Because I actually understand that, but I assume you do as well, so I'll let you go first.
So a key animator is... You would call him, like, in my mind, the head of the animation sequence. So say you have a fight sequence where a character throws a punch. The key animator will probably animate the person with their fist pulled back, a shot of them halfway to making contact, and then the finishing shot of the fist going through the dude's face. And they'll draw those 3 frames. The in-betweener will then go in and, using those 3 shots as a reference, fill in the in-between parts of that motion where the character goes from fully pulled back to halfway there, and then halfway there to making contact. And those frames are flipped through quicker, and they don't need to be as high quality, and it's just hard for a key animator to do every shot. So you have these in-betweeners who fill in the gaps between the key animations to portray the movement, and using the key animator as a reference. Would you say that is about right?
Yeah, I think basically the key animator is like drawing the most critical images of a series of motion, and the in-betweeners are doing all like the in-between shit. Just filling in the gaps and to make the frame rate higher.
Yep.
Pretty much.
So you're not doing it all yourself. You have a bit of a guideline, but you still have to draw everything that's moving on the thing. Like, it's not it's not easy. Do you think it'd be any better?
No, there's fucking no way.
I think I would give myself a half or 1 for in-betweeners. Like, I think not having to come up with what it takes to make motion from a technical standpoint and using it as, I just need to fill in the gaps. I could maybe hobble together something, and I'll just say, he's moving so fast, it's all really wobbly and blurry. And you're pumping out so many frames, you'll probably get good eventually, right? Because there's,
Nope. No, I'm going to be terrible.
But just think about it. It's each second of animation usually takes like 24 frames. So if you're drawing, I don't know, 10 pictures of almost the same pose, just slightly incrementally moving the arm.
Nope.
Like, by the end, you'd get a little better. Like, at the end of your montage, your stick figure will have little bicep bumps. Like, that's progression.
You know how you hear about, like, Studio Mappa bitching about how, like, we got to spend so much time fixing the animator's work that we don't have time to train people. Like, that's me. I am the problem. Okay? They're going to have to redo everything. Some key animator's going to be like, fucking Choto Mendoza Yaro. He's going to be like fucking fixing my shit. And
you're a -1. You're actually
terrible.
A bane.
Forget it. It's not happening, man.
Oh my goodness. Okay. How about this? Let's go with producer. Let's get out of the realm of hand-drawn animation just for a little bit. How well do you think you could be keeping the team aligned? Finding the funding, finding the sponsor, working with televisions to find broadcasting rights, working with source material, arranging meet and greets, like doing the heavy behind the scenes work that doesn't get nearly enough credit, but is still a major part of shows being an idea and actually then being made.
I'm probably like maybe a 3.5 or a 3. You know, I think the producer's a pretty big job. I think you got to raise money. You gotta get things funded. You gotta, you know. But I feel like I've been in the business world long enough that I'm able to meet with people, have good meetings, present ideas, convince others that like something is a good idea, and prove myself to be a leader. I can handle that kind of stuff. It's, you know, I have no experience, but I think that after like some time of getting the skills that are required, getting a couple iterations under my belt, I think I could be okay at it. My Japanese isn't good enough, that's for sure. But you know, that aside, I think that I could be okay at this.
Yeah, I'm about in the same boat. You know, once we remove the artistic talents, it becomes very much a business mind game.
Yeah.
And I think I'd be okay at it. Like you, 3, maybe 3.5 if it was a really easy production schedule. But obviously it depends. So I'm going to say 3 for myself.
Okay.
Going back to the artistic side, just really quick.
You kick my ass enough.
But this is different. This is CG artistry, modelers and or riggers. You know, you're not hand animating. You have a computer. Do you think that it all gives you a fighting chance?
No way!
So I think this helps me. I think I can control
Yeah,
Z my way.
as you lower your score from a 2 to a 1.5 on the
Yeah.
document. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to be good. I'm saying I'm going to be better than a key animator or an in-betweener. I think I can attach nodes to body parts, and I think I can be like, okay, these fingers or hands are going to move in a very mechanical way. It'll be very puppetry-esque, and I think I've got a chance. I'm going to give myself a 1.5.
I can't fucking do this. Look, I can use a computer. It's the same thing. I can't draw. I can't do it. I mean, I know that those people that know how to do like 3D modeling and stuff, they make a good living.
I mean, I know how to 3D models. Like,
Well,
I do it for my job, so like it's
I
kind of
fucking
the
don't.
same. I just don't 3D model waifus, like, yet.
I mean, where's the job? Where's the animation creating job where I get to like be, where I get to, launch a rocket to Mars using only Microsoft Excel? How do I do that? Where's that? Huh?
That's probably producer.
Oh, well, I'm a 5 then on that. That's for sure. I can't fucking do that.
Listen, you're telling me you couldn't make something like Initial D? Just
No,
make a
what?
car that just like skids around
No
really
fucking
funnily?
way, bro.
My dude, you could definitely do it. Just
God.
a year training.
It would be
you
like
could make- you could make a car.
1999 newgrounds.com level.
Yeah, it'll be
It
great.
wouldn't even be that good.
It'll be charming.
Oh, yeah. My mom would think so.
Hey, that's all I'm trying
It's
to
like
impress
your mom's
out here.
like, "Oh, honey, you did so good." From reality, it's like utter horse shit. Nobody wants to look at it. But it's a CG piece of art that only a mother could love.
Exactly.
Out of 5. That's what I'm going for.
Listen, I'm just out here hoping my mom prints out this episode as a MP3 waveform and puts it on the fridge. Like, that's what I'm out here to do. And that's all I need to be happy. Let's do one more. Might have heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm going voice actor.
This
How
like
do you think you would do behind the mic?
I think I could do this. We have enough experience on the mic. Let's be honest, particularly Netflix has pretty mediocre dubs. The bar is not that high, and I'm not that bashful, and I feel like I could do this. Honestly, I think I'm probably in the 4 range out of 5. I could be a voice actor. Now, do I have the specific perfect voice that people want? I don't know. Probably not. But maybe that's why. Maybe I feel like I'm a 4. Maybe I'm actually a 3. But I feel like I have enough acting skill, enough uninhibitedness to get the job done.
We've seen the performance of the Pope. That's voice acting.
You're going to see more later.
I think you definitely got this, my guy. I would give myself a 2.
Oh.
I think I know how to say words sometimes, but I am so bad with sounding like anything other than me. Unfortunately, I know it's really bad. I just don't think I'd be good. I think I would try. I would be enthusiastic, but I don't think I could make a career out of it. I could do one show, and that would be all I ever did. And then I'd be like, yeah, let's not have that sound again. We don't like his voice. And I get it.
On an unrelated topic, I don't think I'd want any of these jobs. I'm already trying to save money for a house. It's already hard enough. I'm 100% sure that my day job pays better than any of these. So I know the anime industry is like brutal. So it's for the birds, people. You can have all this. And listen, if you want to draw 1,000 images for 7 acorns and 4 wooden nickels, you can do it. I need money. Okay, I live in Denver, where lunch is $43 and and a promise of your first male child. So I need to be paid more than wooden nickels and acorns. This is not Totoro, okay? I'm not being paid in magic nuts and seeds and dread tie with dragon whiskers. All right, so.
That said, we do appreciate, despite sometimes being like, oh, we could definitely do this. Like, we do appreciate everything that goes into anime and just how many people have to work to make it work. And yeah, I think it's cool. And I think a lot of times people very often will be like, this studio is doing this anime, and this studio did another show I like. So this studio, and it's just treating the studio as this big conglomerate that is the hive mind that makes things, and it's always the people at the end of the day. And even if we rip on a show, we appreciate people who work on it. That's it. We're just trying to be positive here.
I love watching anime, and I love even when they're bad, and I love the people that work on them because they put their heart and soul into it. And even if their anime is crappy, it's still me. I still have fun watching it.
They work on it so we don't have to.
All right. Should we get the fuck out of here? I got a burrito to eat. How much of this? This is an extra long news break, and now I'm really thankful because I got a burrito right here.
Take bets in the Twitch chat. % of burrito that Mitz will consume.
Could be all of it.
Could be. Yeah, 0 to 100. Let's go.
It used to be that I could eat a whole Chipotle burrito in about 4 minutes. So we'll see if I can do this. Oh shit, Mason's jamming.
4 minutes? Bro, you could get that in 30 seconds flat.
30 seconds? It's the size of my arm.
You gotta have rice flying out the sides.
I'm gonna have rice coming out of my nose. All right, in the anime Uncle from Another World, what is the uncle's favorite Sega game? We're gonna get to that after we have the news break, and also we're gonna have Anime Addicts confessionals and a whole host of impressions from the summer 2022 season. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back after the news break. Hey Anime Addicts, Mitsugi's here, and I'm bringing you your anime news break, starting off with some pretty interesting news coming out of Japan. Kagoshima's Sakurajima volcano has erupted in Japan. Kagoshima being down in the Kyushu area of Japan, pretty far away from really anywhere that I think anybody would probably travel for tourism. It's considerably south of Osaka, down in the Miyazaki prefecture area, so it will be quite a trek to get down there. But according to the Japan Times, the volcano erupted Sunday, raising the eruption alert for the volcano from a level 3 to a level 5 on a 5-point scale. Volcanic rock fell up to 2.5 kilometers from the blast, but there were no immediate reports of injuries, which is good. However, again, they have raised the alert to a 5 out of 5 on the scale, the first time that a level 5 warning has ever been issued for the volcano. And it's just the second time that such a high-level alert has been given to a volcano following the 2015 eruption of the Kuchi no Noerabu islands in Kagoshima Prefecture. Lots of islands down in Kagoshima Prefecture with volcanoes. And you know, if you're a person who wants to see lava flowing, it's one of the only places in the world where you can actually still see lava, like with your eye. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida instructed his government to gather information about the damages and to set up ways to help local residents and hikers evacuate from the area. So good that nobody was hurt. Hopefully the evacuations will go smoothly and we can continue to not have to report anything particularly bad about this. Next up, getting back to anime, the light novel Days with My Stepsister is getting an anime adaptation. This was announced at the Summer School Festival 2022. So the synopsis is about Yuta Asamura, who gets a new stepsister after his father remarries and happens to be the #1 beauty of the school year. They promise each other not to be too close, not to be too opposing, and to be simply keep their vague and comfortable distance, having learned important values about men and women relationships from their parents' previous ones. So it sounds like there's definitely some baggage from past marriages and some interesting stepsister and school dynamics going on in this property. But it looks like when this one comes out here, I'm assuming not too long from now, you'll get to see what this anime is all about. Next up, another light novel is getting an adaptation. The Detective Is Already Dead is getting an adaptation as well. So this adapts Nigo Ju's mystery romantic comedy novel, which has the same name, that began on the Kakoyomu platform back in 2019. So it looks like the 6th volume of this shipped on November 25th last year, and the 7th volume is going to be coming out on August 25th. If you're a fan of the Detective Is Already Dead novel series, you'll be able to watch this in the anime format pretty soon here as well. Next up in the news, well, Japan can be a pretty weird place, and there's a lot of weird rules relating to schools. Recently, a Japanese junior high school girl was removed from class for 3 days for grooming her eyebrows, so people will get a kick out of that. In Japan, there are schools that prohibit students from cutting or shaving their eyebrows. However, this 14-year-old girl had been removing hairs at the edges of her eyebrows to give them a more groomed appearance, and as a punishment, she was removed from class for 3 days, receiving Beishitu Toko, separate room schooling, a form of discipline in Japan where students who have broken rules must do their day's schoolwork in a separate room away from their classmates. Miki Hata, Kurume's 55-year-old director of education, said that, quote, "I believe the school may be worried that being at a developmental age, children may become distracted and overly focused on their eyebrows and hairstyles and neglect essential aspects of their education and lifestyles." Some pretty bizarre shit if you think about it. So this girl was actually punished, and the locals are pretty pissed off about the strange rules and infractions that are being applied to children in Japanese schools. So I'm sure this story is not going anywhere, but despite the gradual loosening of some of the rules in Japan relating to schools, it continues. Lastly, and just real quick, My Hero Academia is getting its sixth season premiere on October 1st. So not to go into this too much, but if you're a fan of My Hero, you'll be getting more on August 1st. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now time to get back to the podcast right now. Every day, Pancake is abused, beaten, and neglected by being forced to go to work.
No, Mitsuki, don't make me go.
She's crying out for help. Her syrup, it's dry.
It's so dry.
Please go to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon and join the Anime Addicts with a monthly gift. Don't wait. For just 22 cents a day, you could help rescue a pancake from a life of doing things. Act now within the next 30 minutes, and you'll receive a welcome package of hentai episodes, hobby addicts, and after parties during which a pancake may appear. Given a second chance at life, Pancake may even appear on this very podcast thanks to you. So help make Pancake the Anime Addicts Anonymous sugar baby by going to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There is a pancake who needs you. You can say, "I'm here to help."
You know me? Of course!
All right, welcome back to the podcast, you punk asses. I'd say your burrito's about 60% done, 70.
Would you say it's 69% done?
Probably 69.
We had a couple 60% guesses in the chat, and then Cammy redacted the vote and went to 69, and people thought it was a pretty nice guess, and I
As
agree.
expected. In the anime Uncle from Another World, what is the uncle's favorite Sega game? Guardian Heroes is the game. I did note that during the course of the episodes that I watched, there was music from Golden Axe, which is fantastic, and also Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So that was also fantastic. You know, because these are all-time great games, seminal to my childhood. And Golden Axe, some really good shit. So, all right, well, we're going to do a segment now that we don't do that often because I just don't get that many submissions for it. But if you would like to embarrass yourself for our pleasure and for our fans' entertainment, you can go to the website, aapodcast.com, and /mailbag and submit an Anime Addict confessional. You can write your most embarrassing anime-related stories, confessions about your love of moe, etc., etc. You'll get the idea after the segment. But again, AAApodcast.com /mailbag, and you can do some submissions here, and I will judge you for all that you're worth. And here we go. I don't know where the Pope hat is. The cat keeps losing the hat. God Emperor of Dune writes, "Behold, it is I, your resident God Emperor. I write in with a confessional. Not to ask for forgiveness, but instead to request praise for my actions toward the spreading of the awareness of non-moe anime." This is fantastic. "I currently work at the largest Walmart distribution center in the world, 5.5 million square feet. Oh, well, that's a start. Over the past several months, I have spread more than 800 Initial D, Studio Ghibli, and Junji Ito stickers across my workplace, placing several on every forklift, center rider, and stop sign in the building. Now, every single floor worker sees them each day, embedding these images into their minds, thus spreading the glory of non-moe to the masses. You are doing God's work, God Emperor of Dune. You will save humanity. You will purge the blight that is moe from this world, and I believe that there is a place for you among the pews of the Church of Mitsugi. If you wish it, you can submit your resume to aaamitsugi@gmail.com, and I will contact you further for opportunities." Yeah.
Can we get some Initial D stickers? I want an Initial D sticker.
This one is from Rice Quakes. "What's up, AAA podcast crew? Love the show, love the hot takes, and love Caroline's jelly bean eating talent. That being said, I'm not a pure lewd or ecchi fan, but there was a time in my life when I fell into a pit of curiosity and ended up watching and re-watching Monster Musume several times. About 3 times. Oh, well, that's a start. Rated it a 10 on Mal, and reading through all of its manga. Would you say that this is an unhealthy interest, or am I just a man of true culture? The church deems that your soul is thick with the grease of evil. However, Monster Musume is not very moe, and so even a transgression of this magnitude could not condemn your soul to the pit of hell." What the?
Ha 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 ha! I am risen and I am here to fuck shit up!
What? Anime Satan? What are you doing here? And why are you on my shoulder?
I'm here to kick moe girls and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum. Are you forgetting we have a contract? Somebody is going into the pit of hell today. I need new anime fans to help comb my pit hair.
But this guy isn't really working.
Kick his ass in. Move aside. I'll do it.
But you're so little in this form. Your arms and legs they're so stubby.
Now, Pope, remember, we must be gracious and forgiving to our anime fans.
Who the fuck are you?
I am the Anime Archangel, sent here to help you find a better way.
Oh, anime hell no.
A better way?
Fuck that. You don't want to listen to this little angel bitch. Moe must be punished.
The world is thick with hatred, and we must rise up past the miasma to find righteousness anew.
You guys are starting to get heavy. You know, maybe there is something to this. Nah.
I guess angels don't always fly. You see that little bitch peed himself like Shimoneta.
You too, Satan.
Wait, what? Oh, fuck. Fuck you!
Man, what a busy day in the Church of Mitsugi.
Amen.
Again, if you would like to submit a mailbag, you can do it at aaaapodcast.com/mailbag. And maybe you'll get some more fun segments like that one.
Wow, that was incredible. all the people who are like, Mitz couldn't do any of those things. He could be a script writer. No way.
Anime
Prove
Satan,
it. Money where his mouth is.
He just comes out of nowhere. Even though he shows up, he's about 8 inches tall on my shoulder. His cock is still hung. I mean, he's got his dick's like hanging down on my fucking shoulder. It's creeping me out, man.
Speaking of hanging out, the rapscallion cat that perhaps hid the moe hat is right behind you. He's been chilling out the whole time.
Is he watching me?
He is. He heard you talking shit.
He's gotten very big, and
MAKO is growing.
He's watching me.
Anyway, if you are too frightened by, the anime judgment that the Pope will inflict upon you, instead of a confessional, you can submit a mailbag at AAA Podcast just as well, and we will answer it with perhaps a little less fanfare. So let's do that.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
The first one today comes from DJ Triple, who writes, Yo dogs, been listening for about 2 years now. Love the show. I look forward to every week for all of my anime news and updates. And I was just wondering, has there ever been a show that y'all scored a 5 either together or separately? Would love to see what y'all consider a great anime. Keep up the good work. And love y'all and the community on Discord. Well, if you've only been listening for 2 years, you know that sometimes I don't always give high scores. Don't worry about it. But there is a spreadsheet of pretty much every review we've ever done, and that will answer your question. But to answer it in a auditory format, because not everyone has access to it, as the cat is getting some sweet treats.
This cat eats popcorn, bread, fucking chicken soup. He'll eat anything.
There has been quite a few shows that the podcast has rated a 5, 2 of which have gotten a 5 despite not all the hosts giving it a 5, those being Chiayafu Season 3 and A Place Further Than the Universe. And as far as shows being given 5s across the board, we have Scum's Wish, both seasons of Rakugo Shinju, Haikyuu Season 3, March Comes In Like a Lion, 91 Days, Your Lie in April, and Ping Pong, the animation. So, at one point in time, all with different hosts likely, we thought those were absolute masterclasses and must-watches. So if you have not seen any of those and they seem up your alley, I think I'd recommend giving them a shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
For my money, it's going to be Goku Midnight Eye, baby.
I would bet the current lineup of hosts would rate things a little differently, but nonetheless, we value everyone's thoughts.
All right, the next mailbag is from Jesse James, Team Rocket. Blasting
That's right.
off again.
They write, why does my room smell like anime?
I don't even understand what the fuck they're asking.
I just want to know why their room smells like anime.
Probably intense con funk from a NEET who hasn't bathed properly in weeks. But don't worry, he'll be going to an isekai world soon. He will be surrounded by hot girls. And probably cat girls. Oh, but you'll definitely want to buy a slave girl pretty early on, because that seems to be in every isekai this season. I don't know why, but it's like the thing now. So
it's just normal operating procedure. I think your room smells like anime because it's so hot outside, as it is for me, that your figures with their formless mouths are beginning to cry, and they have mouths, but they just can't scream, and it's just their plastic starting to disintegrate into the world around them. So you should probably cool them off as well as yourself. So thank you for the mailbags, and hopefully that answers all your tough questions. Submit them as well as everything else, and the reviews, and all. Just go to AAA Podcast. It's really easy to remember, and we love you. Now, time for really what we're here to do today, which is round 2 of summer 2022 impressions. Last week, we passed Bastard, as well as Call of the Night, which means we have 4 shows remaining that pass before you listeners get a choice on the last 3. Mitz is going to be out, as aforementioned, living his dream, not inviting me to go to Iceland because he's just a big meanie and doesn't want me intruding on his life. but I will forgive him and let him start off this episode.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time! Believe it!
I don't think there's very good food in Iceland, Mason. I don't think you'd enjoy it very much.
Don't they have that, like, seal stuffed with, like, fermented crows or whatever? What's
crows?
That thing? Fermented
what?
Seal.
Traditional food in Iceland is cod, hammock, and haddock. Wow.
Kiviak. It's the fermented seal dish.
Oh, they eat lobster in Iceland. Well, there you go.
They put 500 small seagulls or birds fermented with disemboweled seal.
Ooh.
And they seal it up, as in like they sew it up and they bury it. And it's often considered one of the most disgusting things ever. That's Greenland, so not quite Iceland, but...
It's not even the same country.
It's about as close as you can get.
What? Anyway, whatever.
I'll post a link for the people in the chat. You're welcome.
So this first anime that I'm going to be doing an impression on is going to be... I'm just going to pull up the images here. Harem... I'm so sad Caroline's not here for this one. Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. And as I pull this thing up, this is an isekai show, of course, in another world that is done by Studio Passione. And it's an anime with... This is a really tough impression for me because the first episode was really not that great. The second episode I thought was excellent. And the third episode I thought was sort of average. So it wasn't like a disaster. But this anime's plot is pretty stupid. So, as I said, it seems like this like slave girl thing is something that Hero has created maybe, and now it's all over the place. So the whole point of this show is that this kid, this high school student, Michio, gets himself transported to an isekai world. And, you know, he's reborn as a strong guy, strong character that, you know, he finds a sword right off the bat called the Durandal that is able to, like, absorb mana and stuff. It's a pretty good sword. But ultimately, what you get through the first episode is he kind of lands on his feet in the isekai world, Michio does, and immediately he realizes that his goal in life is to buy this slave girl named Roxanne. And that's pretty much the plot in the anime through 3 episodes. He realizes that these girls are for sale and he wants to have sex with them. That's what this anime is. And they say so. That's literally what he says. This is one of those animes like Peter Grill or Ishizoku Reviewers where there's a lot of stuff that's censored and you know that there's an uncensored version that if you want to, you can go to Pornhub or whatever and find the uncensored version where you'll be able to like see his fantasies of himself like, you know, going to town on Roxanne or whatever. So, but the second episode of this show brought me to the point where I thought it might be a passable anime. And I'll tell you why. This anime, of all the isekai that I've got, and I seem to have most of them, does a better job of painting the anime in terms of how you would play a video game than any of the others. And when I say that, there's a lot of in-depth discussion about how when he's in this labyrinth where he's trying to grind monsters to get gold, he goes, oh, wow, he's learning all this in real time. It's like, wow, when I spend my mana to kill these monsters, I get really depressed. And he literally goes into these fits of like depression where he's like having suicidal thoughts or whatever. And he realizes that it's going to be a pretty tough slog because he's constantly going through this cycle of depression and then like elation because his sword will absorb mana, but he still needs to use mana to defeat the monsters. So he's constantly dropping his mana and replenishing it. And they go through this discussion about like how that affects his character. There's a lot of talk about like he's analyzing like equipment on enemies and they're going, oh, that's a thief's bandana. So like I really should try to get that bandana off this bandit because it's better than a normal bandana. And he's scanning levels. He's scanning the monsters' levels. He's talking about how he's leveling up his skills. And there's just a lot of detail given as to like it makes you feel a little more like you're playing an MMO as opposed to a lot of these shows that start off like that, but then they kind of dump it pretty quick. And he almost dies in the second episode. He's like in this dungeon, and he gets into this like monster nest, and he's all alone, and he's like, you pretty much figure he's gonna die, and he thinks he's gonna die, and he ends up not dying, but he almost does. And I'm like, this is a little more realistic. Like, there's a sense of direness to this episode 2, and all this talk of like the skills and the way that the world works and the game mechanics really made me feel like this anime was actually going to turn into something that could be pretty good. The third episode is not as good as that one. He basically spends the third episode he realizes that he's going to get a lot more money killing bandits than killing trees and getting like trash items from the dungeon. So he goes out on this quest to like kill these bandits. He ends up nabbing 2 bounties by killing these bandits. He turns the bounties in and he gets enough money, and at the end of the third episode, he buys Roxanne. So that's pretty much where the third episode leaves you. Now, what he does with Roxanne, how he treats her, are they just gonna like have tons of sex? I don't fucking know. The fourth episode's not out. I really can't tell you. But this is not, in my opinion, as terrible as you would think, given the plot summary. That's me saying it's a watchable anime. I don't think it's gonna like break ground for you. It's not like incredible. It is one of the highest watched animes of the season. Where it's in like the top 5 or so non-sequels. But I wouldn't be too busted up if this was a listener choice pick. But I have all these shows that are pretty mediocre this season, and this one's kind of in the pile there, somewhere in the middle. So I'm not gonna pass. The Japanese
even though it'd be very funny for Caroline to have to
she
deal
will
with
hate
it.
this.
Of course she will.
Caroline will give this a 1, which is honestly one reason why I'm not picking it, is because it's like the review is a foregone conclusion. It's some anime where they take time out to like have a fantasy of him like sucking on Roxanne's nipples, which is like what they do at least once an episode. And then like the whole plot through 3 episodes is he just wants to buy a slave girl so he can nail her. It's really not going to sit well with particularly like honestly a pretty substantial portion of the audience, including Caroline. So she's just not going to enjoy it.
I'm not too inclined to watch it.
I don't think you would enjoy it either. And for me, it's kind of just like most other isekais. Pancake shouted something. I couldn't hear what she said. But I'm going to fail it. I think that if you want to listener choice it, I won't like feel super sad about it, but I don't
think it'll be a good one.
I'm just not going to pass it for now.
That is one big pile of shit.
Captain Avatar's like, misogyny? Never. Like, all these shows are misogynistic. Every single one of them. So I don't know what to say. It's just how these isekai shows are. Next up is Uncle from Another World. So this is another show with the word isekai in the title. Isekai Oji-san, which means uncle. This anime came out on Netflix. Oh, I should change the image on Twitch, shouldn't I? Because I have all these images.
I love it.
Oh, you like it? You like what I'm doing?
I do. I'll do the same thing when I have to run the show in 2 weeks, and I'll fumble with it just as bad.
So this is a show that was getting a pretty good talk because it's one of the highest rated animes of the season that aren't a sequel. If I sort the season by rating, this one is loading. This one is the 7th highest rated show of the season, and amongst non-sequels, it is number 3. So it's really pretty okay. All right. It came out on Netflix officially on the 20th, so there's not been a lot of content out for it, but you can watch more of them on, GoGo Anime or whatever the fuck site you use. I watched a little more than what was on Netflix because I didn't think I could do an impression with just one episode. Basically, this guy wakes up from a 17-year coma, which is unbelievable. And he's like this, I guess he's in his 30s now maybe, but like when he went to the coma, he was younger, and he just is like a huge game nerd. Like he's a Sega fanboy because I guess Sega at one point in time, Sega was like, on top of gaming for a short while, maybe for a couple years. So he's like this Sega fanboy, And but while he was in a coma, he was like in this isekai world where he had all these magic powers, and he still has them even though he's back on Earth. So he can fly, he can teleport, he can like summon fire, he can do whatever. And so, but the uncle is pretty much just like a gamer nerd. He loves Sonic, he loves Guardian Heroes, and it's really the source of most of the comedy in the anime through the episodes that I've seen. So, you know, it is a comedy show. It's not like I don't know if they're ever going to be in the isekai world. Most of the plot line is told through interactions with the uncle and then the nephew who basically is taking care of him, so sort of, and the stories that he tells about his life being in the isekai world. This is an anime that will appeal to people if you're just like a big gamer, like a retro gamer, and you like. There was a scene where they're playing the music from Golden Axe on the Sega from like 25 years ago, and I recognize the music quite clearly, and I go, "Fuck me, that's Golden Axe!" Like I know the fucking music. And I played through Golden Axe 60 times probably. It's not that it's a very long game because it isn't, but it has these sorts of like nostalgic beats to it. It has these sorts of interesting. Well, they intend them to be interesting at least. Flashbacks from his isekai world. But this anime is fucking boring. It is really boring. I'm kind of shocked. The reviews are good. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, Isekai Oji-san." I don't want to watch this anime. This anime is... It's an attempt at humor, but the humor just doesn't land. And I don't know how many episodes I can really sit through of just like repeated jokes about just barely functioning humans in society and fangasming over like, you know, the fact that there's a Sega Saturn console in your living room, and then all these really disjointed flashbacks of experiences he had while he was in the isekai world. It's like, I don't give a fuck. You haven't done a good job of engaging the viewer to the extent that they care about what happened in the isekai world. So when you show me flashbacks from it, I just don't give a shit. You know, oh, there's some ice girl named Mabel who has a sword, and when she offered me the sword in my bedroom, I said I didn't want it. Ha 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 ha. Like, oh, so funny. No, it's not funny. It's fucking dumb. It's boring. I would honestly, this anime isn't remotely as entertaining as the Harem show. Not even close for me. And I can't watch a whole season of this, like, basically neat sitting in his living room, just freaking out about how much he loves a Sega console from like 1997. I just can't. It's not interesting. And oddly enough, this anime is probably, out of the 7 shows I have, it's one of the ones that I would want to watch the least. And I pretty much only picked this one because I got egged into it from the Discord because there's a lot of talk about Sega, and I happen to love Sonic the Hedgehog. And Sonic the Hedgehog does appear in this for about 10 seconds. But this show is not good. Some people are loving it. This is like one of those Chunibyo animes where people that like, you know, are like 40, but they act like they're 17 because they're just obsessed with games and they think they're like a magical person. That's what this anime is. Like, if you love Chunibyo shit, this is all you. But it just doesn't land with me. I don't find it funny. I don't find it interesting. And
how about no?
How about no? Failing Isekai Oji-san. This one may be coming back for impressions. I hope not. I really don't want to watch it. It won't get a good score from me, so just know that. You know, it's just going to be a snoozer. So moving on. You're up, Mason.
There you go. Let's get to a real good show. Maybe not. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. This is a Studio Naz show on Crunchyroll, aka Hoshi no Samidare, which is not at all translates to Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, but it is what it is. Tells the story of Yuhi, just some dude who wakes up and there's a talking lizard on his chest that says, "Yo, dude, you need magic powers to save the world from this demon who's about to just break everything." And Yuhi is like, "How about no?" as that drop alludes to. And he's like, I just, no, I don't care. I don't care about other people. I don't want to get involved. Find someone else to save the world. I'm not interested. And essentially, what happens in episode 1 is the lizard says, tough shit, you're going to get attacked either way, so you better probably start at least defending yourself. And he gets magic powers, and that's pretty much the opening plot and synopsis of this show. And right off the bat, anyone will tell you this show just looks bad. Like, it looks like a mid-tier hentai sort of bad.
Oh my god.
There are
bad. That is bad.
Tons of cut corners, weird lighting, and just inconsistencies from scene to scene. And I know I gave Spy Family a hard time. This is leagues worse. This is not even comparable a lot of the time. And what is concerning is that this show will eventually become much more action-orientated as Yuhi has to acknowledge and accept the fact that he will need to fight off these demonic creatures. So when you're just talking scenes look bad, I'm very much concerned on how the action will go on to look. That said, there is some good to this show. The fact that it doesn't really waste time at the beginning, it gets right into it. The designs of the demons that invade are appropriately kind of creepy and unsettling, and I like that. There is a depth to the writing and voice acting that attempts to salvage it. The problem is it's just undercut so often by the visuals, awkward dialogue, and just very stiff transitions that flow so poorly, as well as very heavy-handed use of these chains that Yuhi imagines in his mind that is holding him down because of the influence of his grandfather. And it's just so painfully obvious of what is happening that it's laughable. And this is obviously an action show, but it is very typical of Mizukami's works, very comedy-centric. And when it leads off by using the same joke 4 times, none of which lands, doesn't really bode well from it on a comedic level. So it's not atrocious. It's not beyond salvation, but considering that it will likely be a 2-core episode show and already it's off to such a rocky start, I don't think it's the best idea to watch this, so I will be failing quite confidently Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer.
Was it you that was talking about this Biscuit Hammer show like it was going to be good before it came out? Somebody, I kept marking about. No.
I said there's some sort of hope because the creator of this, his manga tend to be interesting and different and just have a different flavor than we often get in anime. So there is probably some potential in some regard coming from the source material. But I'd like to think I was not on the bad wagon of this is going to be top tier stuff.
Yeah,
because,
I could be wrong.
Yeah. A lot of people were excited for it. A lot of people are probably still watching it purely from the strength of the source material. This is a beloved manga, but I just don't think this is the medium to digest it. I think the fans of this manga are cringing their way through it, much like a alleged Berserk adaptation about 5 years back.
Yeah. All right.
You shall not pass!
There you go. Great start, Mason.
We're out here living the dream.
I was really having a tough time between these last 2 impressions I've got because I just couldn't decide which one I wanted to pass. They're about the same for me.
Okay.
So this next impression is Lycoris. I guess it's licorice. I don't know. Lycoris Recoil. That's what they intended to be. Lycoris Recoil is the Japanese. This anime smacks heavily of Gunslinger Girls. I don't know if people have seen that show. It's older. But if you're talking about like all young girl characters that are wielding weapons that they have no business or even probably the physical capability to really use, and are working for like a secret agency, I guess, that, you know, enlists these girls for some reason. They all have to be young girls. Then this is the show for you. Gunslinger Girl came out. It's pretty old now. Gunslinger, it's got to be 90s.
2.5 decades?
Oh my god.
Maybe?
I was wrong. No, Gunslinger Girl is 2003. So, about a little less than 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's a Madhouse anime from 2003. This anime is not that different. It's pretty sparse on plot. I watched 4 episodes of this one to try to make my determination on whether or not I wanted to pass this one or not. It's primarily about these 2 girls, Chisato and Takina, 2 different girls that are in the show. Chisato is like this prodigy that's a licorice, I guess they call them, and she's like supposedly the strongest of all time. She's got this innate ability to be able to tell based on the barrel of a weapon what the trajectory of the bullets will be that leave the weapon, and she's able to basically just like stand in front of a person who's shooting at her and just move out of the way of the bullets. And so this anime does have some pretty good action scenes in it. There's pretty much every episode's got at least one action scene that is worth watching. There's not a lot of plot line going on in this, to be honest with you. But, you know, these girls, they go out and they are thwarting crimes, you know, apprehending criminals, defending Tokyo. And there is you can kind of tell that there's a bigger underlying plot line that just really haven't gotten to all that much yet because, like Tokyo Skytree got blown up at some point before the story starts, and they keep alluding to it, and it's in the opening video, and it's in the dialogue, etc. And we're gonna find out more about that. I'm assuming it was like a terrorist problem, but you know, there's this cafe in Tokyo where these girls work, and when there's a problem, you can stop by and you can hire them to take care of these problems. This anime, man, I'm so torn between this and my last one, honestly. It's just not that good. It has a good score on the online. It's actually the highest rated non-sequel of the season. But I'm just so not sold on it. You know, the 4th episode was like these guys show up in this train station and they just basically just fire machine guns at this train as it's pulling into the station, like through all the windows, and you're thinking, wow, they probably killed every single person on this train because they're just gonna just buzzsaw the entire passenger crowd on the train with these bullets. And then, like, surprise, surprise, the train was empty, and then all these little girls pop out of it, and they just start having this gun battle. Man, I don't know. I just can't decide, Mason.
All I will say at this point is just to correct you that it's pronounced Lycoris, and it's most often referred to as red spider lilies. It's those red plants that are often used in like funerals and Japanese folklore. So that's what it's about, not licorice. Lycoris.
Well, it sure as fuck looks like they mean licorice.
It does with the katakana.
Oh, and I should change the image on Twitch too, because I forgot. I don't know. It's like
so this show was one that Mitsuki did not originally have on his list for impressions, but because he accidentally picked the season 3, we swapped it with this one. So I think whether you pass or fail this one, Mitz, it's coming back from the listeners. I think people are into it. I watched 1 episode and it was a lot better than Shoot to the Future, which was another one on your list. So I said, hey, see if this one is more up your speed. I was pretty mixed on it. I liked some elements. I was all right on others, but I only watched 1 episode, so I really can't help you out, my guy.
I'm going to fail it. I have pass on the sheet, but I'm going to fail it. I don't know. I mean, it's just not...
Cutting it for you.
It's just not interesting. There's not much... It's just... There are so many anime that are about these like agencies where people work, and then you go to them and you have a problem and you show up and you say, "Ooh, I need you to do this," and then these like bounty hunters slash, assassins slash, military people go out and they just like solve this problem for you. They've been doing it since Bebop. They've been doing it since Outlaw Star had their little fucking hangar with their ship in it. They've been doing it since wizard barristers, like a million times it's been done. It's been done to get backers, like, for God's sake. And the only thing about this anime that makes it exceptional is that it has better animation than any of the other shows I'm watching. The fight scenes are pretty good. They move around pretty well, but I'm failing it. I just don't think it has a storyline.
You? If I knew it was for you, I never would have given it to him in the first place. I would have taken a hatchet and smashed it to pieces. No soup for you. Come back 1 year.
I thought I was going to pass that, but I just didn't have a good feeling about it.
Sometimes you get right up to the line and you can change things, you know? I had myself listed as a 2 out of 5 for 3D animation, and that got changed at the end, so there's no rules here. Speaking of a show that I was close to passing myself, spoiler, I'm going to fail it, is Yurei Deco. This is a science Saru show that is on Crunchyroll. I like the studio. They've been on a winning streak for me, and I was interested. It's a very super futuristic digital age in the world called Tom Sawyer, where everyone uses these artificial eye implants to kind of customize the world around them and essentially turn it into a massive Google Glass experiment where everyone's online all the time, trading love, essentially Twitter likes, to one another, and just getting into a very, I don't know, heavy-handed look on internet culture and how it's affecting the world around us. So this show is very easy to take one look at and say, this is a absurd, hype, like ultra fantasy world that will never happen. But I think the show is kind of very on base. It is very much studying how people perceive the world, and how you perceive the show, I think, will vary, because this show looks garish in a lot of ways. Tons and tons of bright colors, very, very wobbly, wonky animation. And I think a lot of people will look at this and say, oh, these people have no talent. Why are they making their show look ugly? Why is it so cluttered and noisy? This looks bad. And they will say this, I don't want to watch it. And some people, maybe myself, I haven't really determined what I think, will say, this looks like you go to those web pages in the mid-90s and it's cluttered with ads and hyperlinks and just tons and tons of just bad web design. And that's more of how the show feels to look at. There's just a lot going on, and I think it's intentionally so. I think it kind of works. And it expresses a digital age where people have veils over their eyes as they are moderated by these people in control of government who are essentially deleting data and the unsavory aspects of society to keep everyone happy and peaceful and in the dark, but a very ignorance is bliss sort of situation. Essentially, long story short, these likes, this love in this world is the currency of the universe, and it controls everyone's life. It gets into how, our online persona is maybe more important than our real world persona. It gets into outsiders to society not being accepted in because of paperwork, because of oversight, because of wanting to keep everything whitewashed and clean and proper. It gets into a lot of things that we are dealing with today on some level and just blowing it up to anime-sized global proportions and extrapolating on what would happen if Facebook became the real world in a sense. So
kill me now.
It's a lot, and it's a little too simple, I think, for what it's trying to do. And I like the idea, but the dialogue is just so because it goes for a internet quirkiness that just doesn't relate well, because it just is very leet speak. It feels very casual and just, they're saying things like timey-wimey. They're saying things like bird, like it's maybe it works better in the native Japanese. I fully could believe that's the case, but whatever the translator decided to go with just doesn't work well in a way that I enjoy. And this show has been a roller coaster for me. And if you're like, Mason, what is the show? Like, what are you getting at? I don't know here. I've been so up and down on the show. Episode 1 was surprisingly good. I liked the setup. I liked the world. I liked where I thought the plot was going. And the plot is still going that way. But episode 2 was surprisingly terrible. It had so many bland chase sequences. The writing, the pacing was just a slog. And I saw where they were going with it. It just wasn't interesting. And episode 3 was all right, a step back in the right direction. until the end where it dropped off the planet. So this show at its core feels like an imitation of Kaiba, which is a truly excellent anime that I do recommend. And while there might be something here at the root of Yurei Deco, it hasn't proven itself yet. So I'm going to fail this show. I don't think it's for most people, and I think even someone like myself who wants to enjoy it and is fighting for those threads, I think it'll be miserable for most other people. So this will also be getting a fail.
It is a travesty.
I wanted to like it. I tried.
Cold streak, baby. 5 in a row fails.
You would probably quit anime, I think, Mitz, if you watched this show. I think you would just be like, I'm done.
Well, I appreciate then that I don't have to watch it, ostensibly.
You're welcome. I would be shocked if this got a listener's choice. I think people who like this show know they like it and know why they like it and don't need to hear us talk about it anymore. So please don't vote this. Thank you.
I have an image up on Twitch of why I failed the Harem Labyrinth show. It's just Roxanne just licking things. I don't even know what she's doing. Okay, the last show today is another show that's pretty mid. This summer season is not very good. Even the shows that were supposed to be good are not. I think the only anime that was like supposedly a lock to be really great was Made in Abyss, and I feel like that one's living up to the hype. But other than that, I feel like we got like a bunch of very middling shows. Black Summoner is the show I'm going to be doing here. So this is titled Kuro no Shokanshi. Black Summoner. It's another isekai anime. So this kid named Kelvin wakes up and he basically has bartered away his memories of his past life for powerful abilities in this new world that he's entering. And this, he describes her as a very hot goddess, has given him the ability to be reincarnated into this world. And he gets reincarnated as an adventurer, of course. It's so funny. I had like 3 anime this season where these people get reincarnated, right, as adventurers, and then they immediately go to the Adventurers Guild and start accepting quests. All 3 of these shows. The My Isekai Life, this show, and the Harem anime, all of them. They just go straight to the Adventurer Guild and start taking quests. And I'm like, there's no originality at all in any of these shows. They're all the exact fucking same. Even Pancake's dad, who's laying there on the couch, like trying to figure out whether or not he wants to like end his life because he's watching this, is like, didn't we just watch this fucking thing? I'm like, nope, different show, exact same story.
He watches this show, takes Pancake outside, and is like, are you sure this is the guy?
Sure this is the guy you want to marry? So this kid, he's a summoner class, and apparently they're very rare. There'd be like 1 summoner per kingdom, basically, and there are other summoners in the world, but like one of them's a B class, one's a C class. This guy's a S rank summoner. He's like, he's not, his adventurer rank is not S yet. It's like a D or whatever, but his like latent ability as a summoner is S, and he knows that if it gets out that he is a summoner, then people from like the nobles and the politicians from these countries will be like harassing him constantly, trying to get him to like do things or trying to win his favor. So he basically keeps it all under wraps. And the first thing he does in the show is go out and he can't even like kill slimes at first. He's just like kicking the shit out of these slimes are just beating his ass. These little blue slimes. You know, he tries to hit him with like his little shepherd's crook, and they just like dodge him and then like smash him in his face. He eventually beats up one enough that he gets it to join his party, so he tames it. And then because he's an S rank summoner, his rank automatically gives his summons like a huge stat boost. So he gets this like level 1 slime, but because of his like abilities as a summoner, it's actually like much more powerful than the normal S rank. So he immediately just starts going around. He's beating up all the slimes. The slime is killing its other slimes. It's like slime on slime crime. The slime levels up. It becomes like a gargantuan slime, and
I just want a show called Slime Crimes.
Yeah, me too. And of course, there are blue slime because every slime has to be blue because of Dragon Quest, even though you're not Dragon Quest. So quit trying. And so he takes on these quests, and he's taking on quests that are more advanced than his character class than his rank would normally allow. And he starts to get the attention of other people in the Adventurers Guild, and then including people that are unsavory. So he basically runs into this group of people, Cashel and Cashel's like sort of bandit group, join parties with him to go fight this guy to go fight this like Black Knight that's like rank B mission or whatever. And before the mission even starts, they get to the dungeon, and Cashel and his team decide they're just gonna like kill Kelvin right away because they're basically like bad, evil bandit people. And Kelvin beats them because he's got a summoner. He's got like a pretty strong slime, and he himself is stronger than he would normally be because he's been born with better abilities than most. So he's OP or whatever. So he beats Cashel and his friends, and then he goes and he beats the knight as well, the Black Knight, and then the Black Knight ends up joining him. So he gets the Black Knight as a summon also. And then the show does the thing that I didn't expect, although probably I should have. And I just kept thinking about how like pissed off people probably are when they watch anime nowadays. But he immediately goes and he buys himself, you guessed it, a slave girl, an elf girl named Ethel, who is very cute, and she's got a curse on her that has been put on her by like a fire dragon lord. And basically the curse is, if you touch her, you just basically get incinerated by flames. So it's a pretty bad curse. You can't even touch the girl, or you would just be incinerated. However, you discover he learns that essentially like an A rank white mage could just dispel this curse. So he makes that happen first of all, and then he buys the girl, and he's good to her. Like he wants her to be in his party to help him be an adventurer, but he like immediately like feeds her and gets her new clothes and shows her that like she's not cursed anymore, and she seems pretty happy like right away. So it's not like the Harem show where I think he's just gonna take poor Roxanne and just like do opine molestation on her. He's basically gonna like this girl's He does buy her, but he's not going to abuse her. And that doesn't really seem to fit Kelvin's character very much. And that's basically the end of the third episode. I mean, he has a conversation with the Guildmaster at the Adventurers Guild, who pretty much knows that he's an S-rank summoner because the Guildmaster's appraisal skill is higher than Kelvin's concealment skill. So his like appraisal skill was an A, and Kelvin's concealment skill was rank B. So one of them overcomes the other, and so the Guildmaster pretty much knows what's up. And he kind of comes to an agreement with the Guildmaster too. So it's okay. Like it's not any better than the Harem Labyrinth show. It really isn't. They're about this show, and all my shows are about the same for me. They were all about a 3 for 2.5.
They're all fighting for mediocrity.
They're all middle. They're all 2.5s or 3s. And I would have passed the Harem Labyrinth anime probably, but I just know it's not going to go over well. So I'm going to take this one. It probably still won't go over well. But the Black Summoner show, I don't know. I just can't watch an anime with little girls like shooting machine guns. It's just so stupid. Why does every character in the fucking Lycoris agency have to be a fucking tiny girl? It just... They'll come up with some horseshit reason to defend why that has to be the way it is, but in reality, it's just because it's anime and we need to have like an army of girls for people to simp over. So that's pretty much the long and short of it. I guess I'll pass Black Summoner. It's my last show. I don't particularly think it's awesome, but it's not terrible, and that's kind of the way this season has gone, unfortunately. So that's the way it is.
The way the cookie crumbles.
Yes. Now this is gonna be a good story.
I'm not sure if it'll be a good story or not. I am kind of curious where the story will go because there's been no identified conflict up through 3 episodes. I mean, even buying the girl seemed like an afterthought. It just kind of happened out of nowhere. And I don't know. I don't even know why he bought her. He doesn't need her to fight for him. He's a fucking summoner. He already has like OP monsters to fight for him. Just throw them out there and let them kill shit. So I don't know, but you got to have TNA because it's anime. So,
yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much the way it's.
So we've passed Bastard, Call of the Night, and Black Summoner. We've got one more round of impressions, which will be in 2 weeks, and that will be the last one. So on that date, we'll have a listener's choice poll ready for you guys to go, so you can be like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys didn't pass whatever. I vote for it, and if enough people vote for it, maybe we'll review it. Maybe."
Yeah,
maybe.
We're gonna finish up impressions on August 7th, and then you'll probably get your listener choice poll like around that Thursday, so maybe the August 11th or so.
There you go.
Which I will be back from Europe at that point, so
perfect. Everyone can go out, vote for their listener's choice, watch Inuo, and just bask in the glory of anime.
Yeah, pretty much. The glory of anime. So
indeed.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. We are at the end of the podcast, so thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to find us, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. If you want to find us on Twitter, we're at AAA Podcast. Mason's at Macy Pacey. You can find us on Facebook, like I said. We're on TikTok, so you search for us on TikTok, and you'll find us. Caroline is on there making TikToks. I don't even know how to make a TikTok, so more power to her. If you want to find our Discord, AAApodcast.com has the Discord button on the top. You can just click it, take you straight to the Discord. If you want to support the podcast, of course, it's AAApodcast.com/join. Or Patreon. We've had some really, really, really generous patrons lately, so I just want to thank you guys. It's been pretty shocking, actually. So if you want to go over there and help out with the rest of the folks, it's patreon.com/AAApodcast. Boy, podcasting is really not cheap. So, I could spend thousands a year just on the server space. So, but hey, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I think Mason's going to do a radio show next week because Caroline and myself will both be out. So
we'll get some music of varying quality.
And Mason loves himself some music, so
yeah, we do.
As a fellow musician himself. So we'll see you guys next week on the podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. You've been a lovely audience. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Goodbye.
Peace out.